Hi everyone, welcome back to Hive Knits and Natters podcast with me, Lizzie, the maker behind Hive Knits. You can find me on Instagram as Hive Knits and on Ravelry as Hive Knits. I said another episode. This is another episode of Hive Knits and Natters podcast because I'm not exactly sure what episode we're on, to be completely honest. But who cares? It doesn't matter. We're here, we're chatting. It's really nice to be back. If you are new here, then welcome and thank you for joining my little corner of YouTube. I am Lizzie. I'm a doctor, trained to be a GP or a family doctor or however you say it in where you live. And I live in England, in the northwest of England. So when I am not working, I'm knitting and I work to fund my yarn habit. If you're a returning viewer, then hello, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me again. As always with my episodes, they're a bit hit and miss timing wise, they're a bit opportunistic. Life's been really busy lately as per usual, but I have an unexpected free afternoon today. I worked an out of hours GP shift at the weekend, as we do as part of our training, and I got the time back today, so I went into work for a couple of hours this morning. I've got the rest of the day off in lieu of that weekend shift. There has been a bit of a heat wave in the UK. It's been beautiful, warm, sunny, blue skies for the last week plus, but today it is a bit overcast. It's still warm, but it's just nowhere near as hot as it has been. And I was like, right, I've got some time. The weather is more wool friendly than it has been. I'm just gonna sit down and do it. So yeah, it's really nice to be back chatting. The cats are both currently sat on the stairs to the left of me, so they may or may not make an appearance. I tried putting them outside while I filmed this, but they weren't very happy about that and sat staring at me through the patio doors, which was quite off-putting. So I've let them in. They've just eaten, so they might have a snooze, so we may or may not see them. So yeah, I thought I would take this opportunity while I've got a bit of quiet, while it's not too hot, to kind of update you on what's been going on. I have two finished objects, who am I, that I hope you enjoy hearing about. I'm wearing one of them will not fit me, so I'm not wearing it. And then I have an AFO, an almost finished object, and a new very exciting whip, which ties in with some very special acquisitions. So that's about it. I am filming on my phone today. I originally, back when I started filming a couple of years ago, used to film on my iPad, and then I switched to I was very kindly lent a DSLR camera, which has been amazing for filming. The focus is very, very good. However, the flippy screen has been broken for quite a while, so when I try and watch myself with the viewfinder, it's upside down, and I've been persevering, but it's quite tricky. But a couple of weeks ago I upgraded my phone to not the newest, but a newish one with a very good camera and cinematic video thing. And Caroline, my very good friend from Caroline's Knits, she films her podcast on her phone, and the quality is always really good on her new phone. So I'm just gonna try it. If it's not as good, let me know and we'll scrap that and go back to the camera. But I just thought I'd try it. It's a bit easier to set up, not so reliant on the battery. I can keep an eye on myself on my watch. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. So that's that. A lot of housekeeping. Hope everybody's okay. If you've been in the UK, hope you've been enjoying some nice weather. I said in my last video that I'd been inspired to get my summer knits finished, but then it went like really cold and grey again for what felt like weeks. So spoiler alert, I haven't finished any of my summer knits that I showed you. I made a bit of progress on my camisole number 2, the 3x3 ribbed one, but it's not finished. So we won't be seeing those today. However, the sunny weather is making me once again think, oh, I really should have finished those. So who knows? Maybe I'll get inspired to work on those again. I was just about to do my exam, or had done my exam last time I filmed. Can't quite remember. Anyway, I passed! Yay! I found out on Thursday last week that I'd passed my exam, which was a massive relief. It's not the last exam. Haha. Of course it's not. But it was a big one. So very relieved not to have to study for that again. The retake, the next opportunity would also be October, which is like a few weeks before my wedding, so it does not have been ideal for many, many reasons. So I have one more exam to take now. So that was a knowledge-based one, whereas the other one that I still have to take is like a consultation communication skills assessment. So it's done like over video link with actors, so that's gonna be fun, but that's not gonna be till early next year probably. So got a bit of breathing space. Had another like work deadline. We have to keep up a portfolio of like cases that we've encountered, how we've managed them, various things as part of GP training, and the deadline for getting all that sorted was today. So yeah, managed to get a lot of stuff out of the way now and hopefully just chill out a little bit. So let's chat about knitting. I am wearing my first finished object. This is, sorry, if I look at my watch, it's because I've not been used to filming on this camera. I'm wearing my first finished object, which is I still don't know how to pronounce it, Eun Sweater by November Knits, and I've absolutely loved making this. I feel like for me, I'm not a particularly speedy knitter and I don't have a lot of time, but I felt like this went quite quickly. I can't remember what stage it was at when I last filmed, but it certainly wasn't finished, which it is now. So this is a top-down raglan, as you can see, with like these nice 2x2 rib details on the raglan. The sleeves quite what am I trying to say? Deep rib, 2x2 rib, on both sleeves, and I'll see how this comes out. I may need to do some kind of other filming, but it's got a really deep split hem, which you can see there, in the 2x2 rib, and that is on both sides. So it's quite a fun garment to wear, because then you have the split up quite high. So yeah, you've seen the split, but you've not seen it full length, so I'll try and film some kind of b-roll. But yeah, it's really, really comfy, quite oversized. My gauge was different to pattern, I think, by about 2 stitches, so I made 2 sizes up. So I made a size 4, whereas I would like technically have needed a size 2 or something like that. But the measurements came out pretty much bang on, which was good. And yeah, it's definitely like a nice oversized cozy sweater vibe. The yarn I used, I wonder if this will show up. This is it with my new filming situation. I don't quite know how well this is going to show, but I have used hand-dyed mohair for this this project. I will again do some B-roll just in case that's not showing up very well, but I hope you can see that it's speckled. I used Double Sunday as the base yarn from Sandnes Garn, and this is in the colourway Kitt. And then I held it with some very, very special mohair, hand-dyed mohair from Sysleriget, which I got in Copenhagen on my trip in January for a group of primary school friends and my like joint 30th birthdays. So I did show the yarn like in skein format in the last video, but I used two colours. This one, which is called Apple Flower, which is like a sort of greens and pinks. And I use that for almost all of the garment except for the back panel of the split hem. I knew I wouldn't quite have enough, although I'm curious to weigh this and see how much it's come out as, because maybe I actually would have had enough. But they only had two skeins of the Apple Flower in the shop in Copenhagen that I bought the yarn from. So I also then got one skein of this one, which is Candy Clouds, which is pretty similar, but it's more like blue and pink than green and pink. And I've just done the back panel of the sweater in that. I don't know if you'll, yeah, that's the back panel. And this is the front. It's very subtly different, but like, unless anybody's staring at my bum, which, I don't know, you do you. But I don't think anyone's going to notice, especially from the front, and it's that subtle. But I'm really pleased with how it came out, actually. When I was first knitting it with the Apple Flower and the Kitt, I was like, oh gosh, should I have gone for a more white base yarn? But I didn't really want to do that because I'd recently done my sweater number 11 in Peruvian Highland wool, snow white or white, whatever it's called, like pure white base with the speckled hand-dyed mohair. So I don't want it to like be too similar to that. But actually, I think the very subtle speckling slash variegation has come out quite well. So yeah, really pleased with that. I don't think I'm, apart from playing some gauge adjustment games, I don't think I really modified anything. I actually, just before filming, I put elastic in this collar because it was stretching out a bit, which has made things much, much better. I'm really happy with the neckline now. I really struggle with finding a neat bind off for 2x2 rib. I love a tubular slash Italian bind off for 1x1 rib, like proper convert. We'll never do it any other way now. But I'm yet to find a method that I'm like really happy with for 2x2 rib. So for this, I used a technique which I've used on my single malt sweater, where you basically put oh my god, what am I trying to say? You put your needle, your sewing tapestry needle, purlwise through 3 stitches on your right hand needle, and you pull that through, and then you slip the first stitch off the end, and then you repeat that. So it's very simple, and it makes this kind of like, it's not quite as neat as like normal Italian bind off, but that's one way I've learned to do it. And the other way, I was going to show you this later, but I'll just show you the bind off now, is the way that in Petite Knits slash Kimmy Monkholm videos, the method where you, in your first, in your round where in 1x1 you would set up, so you like knit, slip the pearls for one round, and then purl, slip the knits for one round, and then do your sew and bind off. For the 2x2 rib, while you're doing that setup round, you switch the knits and purl stitches, so that you end up with 1 by 1 rib, and then you bind off. And it's fine, don't get me wrong, but it's a bit leany. I hope you can see that there. It just leans a bit, and I'm not hugely sure about it. So that's the comparison. So if anyone else knows another method, then I'd be very keen to hear it. But yes, overall I really like this. It's kind of, I think the colours make it just a bit more elevated than like a neutral sweater, but it still is very, very neutral. And yeah, that's the Eun Sweater by November Knits, which is my first finished object. So let me show you my second finished object. Get me. This one is not for me, it's far too small. My fiance and myself, we recently gained a new niece in our family. So Pete's sister had a baby at the beginning of April, and she is gorgeous. And obviously I wanted to knit her something, but April was a tricky month with the exam and everything going on, so the knitting for the baby was postponed. However, it has now been completed, and if you've seen my Instagram, then you might have seen like a little sneak peek of these, but they are just so cute. Let me show you what I have made for little baby. Oh my god, how adorable are these? I'll try and hold them so they actually look like what they're meant to look like, but they are little overalls. Oop, little toes there. These are the Willum's overalls by Petite Knit. These are really difficult to hold up. I'll show you back as well. It'll be easier when there's a baby in it, to be fair, but they basically have these little dungaree straps which cross over at the back and then insert into the front. And I have used some little bee buttons, which I hope you can see there. Yeah, one on each side. And yeah, they're just very, very, very cute. I accidentally had to do a colour block for these because this green yarn that I was using, I then like ran out and just knew I wouldn't have enough for the whole like bib and the little straps. So I thought, you know what, where the texture of the knit changes from stockinette to rib, let's just change the colour. So I used some Scrappy, Double Sunday as well actually, this is the white, Double Sunday by Sandnes in whipped cream I think it is, and then this green is leftover drops merino extra fine that I had from a project I made last year or the year before. I made two popcorn cardigans actually for various people from work's babies, and yeah, I had yarn left over. This is in the colourway pistachio, but I actually think that like the white and green just looks really cute, so I'm quite glad I colour blocked now. I've looked on Ravelry and Instagram and most of them are solid colours, but I really like the way they look. Now I'm looking at them, they look like really tall. Like, I think I made size, it was 2 to 4 months. I think I must have made 4 to 6 months. She was born in April, and then May, June, July, August, September, October. Yeah, I think I made them for like next kind of autumn, so that's probably why they look a bit on the big side. But yeah, these are so cute. I'll also do some B-roll because I just don't know how well they look, how good they looked when I hung them up to try and show you like that. But yeah, they are gorgeous. So the pattern is Petite Knit's Willum's overalls. I think the smallest size is 2 to 4 months. Like I said, I made the second size, and they go all the way up to like quite bigger children, not just babies and toddlers. And yeah, they're just so cute. I do love, Petite Knit does have some really nice baby patterns. And I didn't want to make anything too like stereotypically girly, just because, I don't know, she hasn't like found a personality yet. So I just thought, you know, these are kind of quite neutral, quite on trend, you know. Pale green is all over the shop at the minute. And quite like useful as well. Like they're basically a little romper suit, aren't they? And they should be quite easy to get in and out of with just the buttons here. These buttons are, I'll show you them again shortly, because I'm going to use them on another project, but they were a present from a friend, actually one of my bridesmaids, and she gave me these for Secret Santa for Christmas, and I think she got them from somewhere on Etsy. I've got the box somewhere. The box that they came in, let's see. Where are they from? Amri Knits, AMRI Knits. That's the return address. So I suspect that's the Etsy seller. But yeah, they're so cute. And you shall see them again shortly. But yeah, I don't really know what else to say about these. Knitted up pretty quickly. You knit in the round. You kind of cast on at the bottom of the legs, and you knit up in the round. Do the same for the other one. Join, and then yeah, the only bit that's knit flat is like after this bit when you have to split to just do the front of the little bib bit, and then obviously you knit the straps flat. But it was pretty speedy. I think I used 3.25mm needles. I have a feeling that the pattern called for 3, but when it just became clear that my gauge was going to be way too tight, as is always my issue, on the 3mm, so I just went up a needle size. And yeah, they're a good gauge. I'm not actually sure if they match the pattern. Haven't checked, was a bad knitter and didn't gauge swatch these. But they're not so tight, but I am aware this is superwash yarn and it may well stretch. So I was quite careful with it when I wet blocked them. Tried not to stretch them out. But you know, a baby's going to grow, so if it grows a little bit, that's probably going to be fine. So yeah, 2 finished objects in one podcast. Unheard of for me. Not unheard of, but rare. I'm going to just briefly mention this because this is an AFO, right? Ta-da! I feel like this has been a long time in the making, so you will recognise this Scrappy Mohair stripy sweater. I have shown it before. I was having a big conundrum as to what to do about the sleeves. So in the last episode, I had like knit a lot of both sleeves, but I wasn't sure what to do about the cuff. Should I do a stripe like her on the body? Should I leave them plain? I also think that there's a bit too much material in the top of the sleeve. So I decided, after all your help, thank you very much, to leave the sleeves plain and just save the stripes for the body. I just decided that there's more impact from the body stripes that way, I think. So I undid this sleeve because, no I didn't, is that a lie? Undid one of the sleeves that had a stripe on and have reknitted them basically the same. This one's not blocked though, which you can tell because the cuff is a mess, and you can just see the line where it was blocked and is not blocked. So I just need to block this sleeve out now and weave in my ends, then it'll be done. I actually, influenced by Laura Penrose, I have bought a steam blocker, steam iron, and I'm just wondering, she uses it for like not final block, for like finished garments and taking measurements and stuff, but she uses it to like kind of like block as she goes while designing, because that's one of the things that really slows me down. Like this, I have had to wet block so many times because I just wanted to keep checking what the true fit would be like, especially with the sleeve kind of issues that I've had. So I'm gonna try and steam block this sleeve just to make sure I'm happy with it, and then depending on how well that goes, I may need to wet block the whole thing again, or I may not. So I'm not going to linger on this one too long, because I think I'm going to talk about it more in the next episode, because otherwise I think this will be really long. And I think I'm going to start writing the pattern up soon. I feel like the reason this took me so long is because I was explaining, I had like decision fatigue while I was revising for my exam. I was constantly doing questions, constantly like making, albeit hypothetical decisions, make real decisions all day as well. And I just couldn't decide what to do about the sleeves. And I just was like, I need to just park it. So now the exam's finished, decided to sack off the sleeve stripes. I'm probably going to take a couple of stitches out of the upper arm in the pattern, but actually it's ready to be written up and graded and edited, which is really exciting. And now I have some brain space to actually do it. So I posted on Instagram about this the other day and said it's probably going to be ready for testing in the not too near future. How did people feel about like the concept of obviously quite a autumn winter garment, like test knitting it over summer when it could potentially be quite warm? And in general everyone was like, no, fine, like don't mind test knitting a sweater in the summer ready for like wearing in the autumn and winter. So that was great. So I don't think it'll be too long. Obviously I do have to write the pattern up. I've got rough notes as I went, but the plan would be to try and get it written up soon, and then get it tested over the summer, ready for release in autumn for the Northern Hemisphere. So keep your eyes peeled. I'll hopefully do another YouTube podcast episode when it's more like closer to being ready for testing. So if you're interested, then watch the space. So I think that brings me on to my main whip now that I only cast on day before yesterday. Like I said, I do have a couple of summer tops, but I haven't made any like interesting progress on them, so I'll not bore you by showing you those again just now. So my exciting new project is very, very special. So I am getting married in November, and I am denied about whether I wanted to make anything to wear for the wedding. Kind of thought, oh, I'm aware that would add an extra like pressure, but in the end I decided that I did want to. So I am making a bridal version of the first cardigan, which is my cardigan design by Hive Knits, with the half fisherman's rib sleeves and the stockinette body with a v-neck and a double knit button band. I released it in December, I think, and it's like a sister design of the first sweater, which is exactly the same except not a cardigan, obviously. And I thought, getting married in November, it's obviously the venue is indoors, but I think it would be nice to have a cardigan, and it would just be really nice to have something not only that I made, but I also designed like there on my wedding day. So I'm actually gonna make a separate video, like in a bit more detail about making the cardigan, I think she says. But yeah, I just wanted to share a bit of the process with you. I can't remember in the last episode whether I'd received this or not, so apologies if I already had. But essentially my lovely friend Simona from Knitt Yarns obviously owns knitt.co.uk, which is an amazing online yarn shop, and she now has a real life shop as well in just outside London in Teddington. Go and visit if you're ever that way. And she has been amazing. As soon as I decided I wanted to do this, she basically helped me like evaluate all the kind of off-white yarns we could easily get our hands on, and she sent me a whole box of yarn to try. Like, how amazing is that? Ignore the blue one, that wasn't from her and it's not white, but yeah, you can tell how full this box is. There's several layers, and she was just so generous and thoughtful. So I won't go through this whole box because that's kind of what I was doing in my other video. But what I will say is the original first cardigan is made with actually made with Filcrana Arvetta, which is this, and Telia, which is this. So that was a possible combination if I wanted to use the same yarn combination as my bright green sample and is recommended in the pattern. However, she sent me a few kind of like more special fibres, considering it's for a special occasion. So she sent me this very lovely alpaca, very thin alpaca from Sandersgarn, I want to say, as a possible second strand. She also sent me this from Lamana, which is merino and cashmere, very fine again, probably for a second strand. And she also sent me a sample of this, which is Lang Cashmere Dreams, and it is honestly the softest thing I have ever felt. I feel like a lot of knitting podcasts, people sit there and go, oh, it's the softest thing I've ever felt, but you're all lying. You clearly never felt this. It's literally like butter, like it's amazing. But she only had the like off-white in stock in her shop, and it was just slightly, it's just slightly too yellow, this one. So let me show you the other box of things that she sent me. Essentially I chose that I really wanted to use like a fingering weight with like a very special second strand lace strand. I really wanted to use the Cashmere Dreams because it's incredible. I ended up doing various swatches, and the combination that I really loved, well, let me show you some of these swatches. So let me see if I can remember. I put little markers on them so I'd remember which one's which. So this is number 1. So off the top of my head, this was Cashmere Dreams, that very thin alpaca strand, and oh, that's right, and Sandnes Sunday, because I had some spare Sunday in Kitt, so the colour wasn't quite right, but just to see like what a strand of merino, Cashmere Dreams, and the it's not called very thin alpaca, but that's what I'm calling it. So that was soft, and I thought when I knitted this one first, I was like, yeah, this is the one, done, sold. Wrong. So then this is number 2, I think. Yeah. I'm sure I'm not the first to develop this, but I developed this genius, in my eyes, system where I do like 2 little pearl bumps up there, and that means it's a swatch 2. And that one had 1 little pearl bump, and that was swatch 1. You're welcome. So this was the very thin alpaca, the Como Grande merino cashmere, and the fingering weight merino from Sandnes Sunday, and lovely, but not as soft as number 1. Then we really got started. So this is incredible. This is Filcrana Arvetta Cashmere Dreams and Lang Lace. So Lang's silk mohair, which is much finer than normal mohair and has a higher silk content. And that was very, very, very nice and met gauge. And then, so I was up for this. And then I can't remember if there was an issue with the Very White Phil Kalana or something, but Simona said, why don't you swatch, because I've used a lot of Lanagatto VIP in the past, which is 80% merino, 20% cashmere fingering weight, and it's really, really luxurious. I've used it for my many Oslo hats. And she was like, do you have any at home, even if it's in a different colour? Just swatch it and see, because I think that would be really nice. And she was right, as always. So obviously this is blue, so it's wrong colour. But this is a strand of Lanagatto VIP, which is this bad boy, the Cashmere Dreams and Lang Lace. And yeah, it's just stunning. It's beautiful. It meets gauge. It's really nice. It's very, very similar to this, just ever so slightly.
I'm not sure I understand.
Sorry. That was weird. No one asked you. Anyway, these two are really similar. This just feels slightly more plush. So that's what we went for. So literally the most luxurious garment I've ever made. it's amazing. So it's 3 strands: Lanagatto VIP, which is mohair and cashmere, Lang Lace, silk and mohair, and then Cashmere Dreams, which is silk and cashmere. But if you can't be luxurious, extra and soft for your wedding, when can you be? So I decided it was worth every penny. So yeah, let me show you what arrived the other day. So obviously when I saw a box take my dress off there. When I saw this box I was like, oh my god, it's gonna be good. This is Simona's brand colour, and then when it came in a box I was like, oh yeah, this is a good quantity. So let me show you. By the way, I should have said, Simona, bless her, I posted her my swatch for my wedding dress, which the designer really helpfully posted me out a swatch of the material of the dress we've chosen. And I posted the swatch to Simona, and then she'd checked it colour wise before she sent all those yarns in the original box, which is just so kind. She's just the best. But yes, look at this, a bounty. I'm just going to check that's actually showing up. Yes, it is. Oh my god, what an amazing box of joy. So this is the Lanagatto VIP, which is just so soft, so beautiful. This is the Lang Lace, little nugget. That's a lie, that's Cashmere Dreams. And then this is the Lang Lace. So they're both in the same shade. And you can see, I just put that there, that was the original Cashmere Dreams, and this is the new Cashmere Dreams. So you can definitely see that that the new one is much more white, which just works with the swatch really better than the off-white. So yeah, that's incredibly exciting. And actually a couple of days ago I made a start. I have been itching to cast this on ever since all the yarn arrived. I got the VIP and the Lang Lace from Simona, and then she didn't have the Cashmere Dreams in the white, so I had to get that from a shop in Germany, who were really amazing. I'll link them down below because I can't remember their name which is really annoying, and I'm filming on my phone. But it was out of stock. I couldn't find this yarn anywhere, and I was getting a bit upset because I'd set my heart on it, and I couldn't find it anywhere that would ship to the UK. #Brexit. And then I just found it on this German website, and it was out of stock, but they were like, oh yeah, it's out of stock, but we'll get it in 3 to 5 days. And I was like, oh, that's amazing. And they did, and it was cheaper than I found it anywhere else, and yeah, the service was incredible. So I will link where I got the Cashmere Dreams from down below, and I would really recommend it if you are struggling to find stock of a certain yarn, because they found it from somewhere. So I was frantically trying to finish various other projects. So finish this, like I had to do various things just to finish off this, had to finish off the overalls. I made myself knit and finish that second sleeve, pretty much. I had 8 rows to go on it, and it was knit night, and I was like, that's not going to occupy me for knit night. So I cast this on for knit night. So these are our 3 yarns together: the VIP, the Lang Lace, and the Cashmere Dreams. Such a pile of floof. Although it's not good when you have 2 black cats, because now I just keep finding black cat hair, and they're not particularly molty, or I didn't think they were. They don't shed a lot of fur, apparently, until you start knitting a white cardigan, and then they shed like nobody's business. So yeah, I'll probably be picking black cat hair out of my wedding cardigan, which is brilliant. Anyway, I've made a start. There's not much to it just yet. You know, that funny beginning of a project where it just looks really weird. But you can get the picture. So obviously they've got the sleeve in the half fisherman's rib, and I think it's going to look great in this yarn. It's delicate, but like it in the half fisherman's rib, it almost like is a bit like come across a bit chunkier than it does in the stockinette. It obviously it will be blocked, and the half fisherman's rib does change a lot, and you can see there that's probably more like what it will be like. But yeah, I just think it's gonna be beautiful. There's my little raglan starting there, and we've got, can't really see, but at the front in this design we've got lifted increases to make the band that will run parallel to the button band, which is added at the end. That is my whip at the minute. I was like, I'll start it now. It's the end of May. Obviously got till November, but like I know that life will happen, and I just don't want it to be something that I'm stressing about finishing. If I can finish it ahead of time, then that's great, and I'll just wash it, block it, and put it away until the big day / a dress fitting, which would kind of be useful to see it. But yeah, that's the first cardigan bridal edition, which is so exciting. Just think it's going to be amazing to, like, you know, on the day be wearing something that I designed and I knit, and yeah, it's gonna be amazing. I'm buzzing, as they say. So I think that just about concludes today's episode. I'm not quite sure how long I've been talking to you about before. I want to say it's around an hour, which sounds like a good place to stop. So yeah, I'm going to be working on the wedding cardigan for the foreseeable near future, because that is what I'm excited about right now. I'm also going to be trying to get that stripy jumper written up and sent for grading and editing. So like I said, keep your eyes peeled for testing call on that one. And yeah, it's been really nice to chat. Another spontaneous episode, but there you go. I think that's all from me, really. As always, really love to see and read comments. I'm really sorry if I don't reply to them all. Well, I know I don't reply to them all. It's just not feasible, but I always give them a heart, so you know that I've read it. and I really, really enjoy reading them. So thank you very much. I will stop babbling, and the sun is coming out, so I probably need to take this wool off soon. I'll go and shoot my B-roll, and then maybe edit this in the sunshine. Sounds very nice to me. So take care everyone, happy knitting, and see you soon. Bye!